This segment is proudly brought to you by Seatbelt King. Sam, g'day and welcome to Bumper to Bumper. How you going?
Good, Rusty.
That's good. Now we're here at Phatt Audio Concepts.
That's it, yep.
What do you guys do?
Well, we do custom car audio, but we also do pretty much all auto elec work.
Yeah.
So rewires from start to finish. And a lot of guys that are doing restoration work, like we pretty much rewire the entire cars from front to back. But we try and specialise more on the audio side. So yeah, but the big custom systems where people want to go a bit crazy, that's where I turn dreams into reality.
Oh, I love the saying there, Sam. Well done, mate. Now, we're here on behalf of Seatbelt King because obviously we've got a Datsun Stanza in front of us. You've done some work to this car, so tell us a little bit about this car.
Well, this car, the owner bought it about 2 years ago, and he had a sound quality competing car back in the days, and he got addicted, as you do with car audio. It gets costly the more the addiction takes hold, if you will.
Yep.
And so when he bought his the old school car, it had to have a stereo in there, and it wasn't meant to get, as they always do, carried away with the project. But
Yep.
one thing led to another, and and ended up with a full-blown competitive system. So it's extremely loud but extremely clear at the same time.
All right, well, I'm going to get you to actually take us through this car and talk about the actual car itself, the work that you've done, and in particular, obviously, the seatbelts, because obviously they're looking pretty bright.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They had to match the rest of the car, and because we started from the inside out,
Yep.
we had a whole new interior put in, and with the seatbelts from Peter, like his work's second to none, and they're also all ADR approved, and they just, as you can see in this car, they work a treat. So.
Yeah, they do work well. They are colour-coded with the outside of the car, so that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's just they look like they're meant to be there. So it's although they're bright, they still look like they're meant to be there.
All right, well, I'll get you to take us around the car and describe some of the work you've done from the stereo and also the seatbelts then.
Yeah, sweet. Let's go.
All right, thank you.
Okay, the most important part of any sound system is the head unit, because that's where the source is coming from. So you've got to make sure you've got a nice clean signal. And from there, we feed that into an Alpine equaliser. So we've got Alpine head unit, an Alpine equaliser, which it's a 175 band equaliser with time correction, crossover adjustments. It takes a lot of tuning. From there, it leads into the amplifiers in the boot, which then come back and power the front speakers. They're a Hertz Millet 3-way, so we've got a 6-inch, a 3-inch and a tweeter. They're all running fully active. The door trims are being custom made. They've got electric windows in there as well with central locking. We've shaved off the central locking or the door locking knob so you can't get access to it. We've custom made a little Datsun logo that lights up as you open the door as well. We've tried to retain the factory colours of the outside of the vehicle inside the car. So we've got the yellow up top, the orange breaker line, and then the black down the bottom. And we've also, Peter from the Seatbelt King has supplied us with some incredible belts that colour match to the car perfectly. It just gave it that finishing touch. And that pretty much wraps up the interior. Okay, in the boot, this is where all the magic happens. We've got our Alpine processor, which has a controller at the front. This is where all the equalisation and the time correction is done, and it feeds the audio signal into our amplifiers. We have a 5-channel on each side, one for each front door because we're big fans of overkill. So channel 1 and 2 bridge for the tweeter, 3 and 4 bridge for the mid-range, and the 5th channel, which is your sub-channel, is just for the drivers, the main driver. And then the amp underneath is for the subwoofer, so each sub has its own amplifier as well. And when we do a system of this calibre, they get their own little build plaque. So this is build number 109. So it gives it that bit more uniqueness. And as you can see with the lighting in this car as well, lighting's starting to become a real big thing in car audio. It's more of a visual aspect. It's got to look good, it's got to sound good. He hasn't gone for the stealth installation, so we've got to make sure it looks as loud as it sort of sounds. So to help design an audio system for a customer, the first thing I'm going to ask them is what car they have, what their budget is, and what kind of music they listen to. The music you listen to plays a big part as to what equipment you should use. If you're into dance and rock, you want to keep your subwoofers small so they move fast. If you're into your R&B or your dubstep, you want your woofers to be big so that way they're going to play low and they're going to play loud. If you're into sound quality, you want to stick with your sealed sub boxes. So this customer was high into sound quality, so there's no ports on this, it's all sealed. To get the size of the sub box, we basically measure the distance from where the subwoofer is going to sit to the driver. We find out how much power they've got in their amplifiers, and then we basically build a box to suit all the information we have to get that perfect bass note right in the driver's seat.
I want to say thank you very much for being on Bumper to Bumper. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
And I'm actually more informed about audio systems now than what I was before I walked in this door. So well done to you, Sam.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, cheers.
I'm Sam Pansino from Phatt Audio Concepts. This is my 66 XR Falcon getting its final full rebuild for the 5th time, and you're watching Bumper to Bumper.